Hi fam, we're back. Guess what? So I was able to record my grandma's specialty, her Chile Rellenos and Fideo. I asked my grandma shortly after the wedding if for my wedding present if she can let me please record her making her Chile Rellenos because she's shyer on the camera, and she said fine. So here we are. I'm sharing this recipe with you guys. So these are my grandmama's Chile Rellenos. Now mind you, there are so many ways online and in blogs and from within your families on how to make them. So this is just my grandma's way, which we absolutely love. And when we hear that Abuelita Maria made Chile Rellenos, we are there. Wherever she is with these, we are there. So the first thing she does is in open fire, she roasts the poblano peppers. So all of the ingredients and the recipe are going to be linked in the description of this video below the video. So she goes ahead and puts all the poblano peppers inside of this plastic bag. I'm kind of iffy about using plastic bags, but it serves its purpose. So she wants them to get humid and to steam within this bag. So once you see that they're not too hot and they're kind of steamed away already, the purpose of the steam was so that you can do this, which is what my father is doing. He is taking the skin off of the chile rellenos. Yo no quiero descansar. Resuena por la pared, creando una canción. Using the actual bag to take the skin off so that you don't make a hot mess, because that's what I would make. And so I guess, you know, this is kind of a smart move to go ahead and let them steam within the plastic bag, because you can actually use the plastic bag also as your gloves. And so once all the skin, the blackened skin is off of your poblano peppers, you go ahead and you gut the inside. All the seeds, you get them out. This is my grandma. So she was kind of warming up to the camera. So I was just, you know, videotaping her hands and we were talking. So she was telling us about back in the day in her town, how they learned how to make this and what was readily available to them is the type of food that they used to cook. So you can use whatever cheese you want. She uses this muenster cheese. Now this wasn't originally what she used to use when we were growing up. She used to make these chile rellenos with queso chihuahua, which was the best, my favorite. But then, you know, cholesterol comes into work and, you know, all this fatty fat stuff comes into play, and so it went upgrading, I guess, if you will, later through the years, that queso chihuahua was a little too fatty, so they changed it to muenster cheese. It's cheese, right? So I guess we'll take that. But they still come out so delicious. I'm pretty sure you can use mozzarella cheese. I don't know how it would taste, but we don't use that. So what she's doing is she's using one thick slice per chile relleno. Now, when you go to the deli to get your muenster cheese, go ahead and make sure and go ahead and tell them that you want them thick, so that you'll be able to use one thick slice per chile relleno. So she did tell us that if you want, you can put, I guess, toothpicks to make sure that the cheese stays inside of the poblano pepper. But once you'll see that how the batter is kind of engulfing the entire poblano pepper, you will not need to put anything to hold in the cheese. No quiero perder lo que queda. Seguimos siempre la pasión. And of course she gave me one slice because I'm a little rascal and I always want the one slice. No quiero perder lo que queda. Look at how deliciously chunky, cheesy, stuffed poblano peppers this is. My mouth is watering, and this is already the day after that we already ate this. So what you'll need for the batter is you'll need about 4 eggs. We made 12 to 14 chile rellenos, and we just needed 4 eggs. So this is my dad's way of separating the yolk from the egg white. And so you'll just need the egg white for right now. In another bowl, you'll put the yolks because you will need them. So don't throw them away. You will need the yolks eventually. But for right now, the only thing you need in this bowl are the egg whites of 4 eggs. You'll go ahead and you need to mix them very well, like very thickly well. Meanwhile, in your egg yolks, you'll see that my grandma is about to put a bunch of salt in there, so like a big pinch of salt. And once your egg yolks are mixed very well, you go ahead and put in, your egg whites are mixed very well. You go ahead and you put your egg yolks, and you mix this until, wow, like my dad, well, it didn't take him that long because he has his machine, but you mix them to the consistency of mayonnaise. So I asked my dad exactly when do you know when you need to stop? And he said, if you flip this bowl over, like now, if you see, it's a mayonnaise consistency. You flip the bowl over, it should not fall out. So that's how thick this needs to be. So again, chile rellenos are fried, so you will need a lot of oil, I guess. And this is the way my grandma puts the batter on her chile rellenos. Again, she's a pro. She kind of knows how to use her hands for this. And here's my dad. He's going to be the pro to figure this little piece out of frying. He throws this oil over the chile relleno so that it could fry quicker, I guess, and evenly. I never seen that actually. Guys, again, I'm going to give you guys a fair warning. If you are watching your health, this is a fried food, so please let it be a little delicacy once in a great while. Take it from me, growing up with chile rellenos, yo, just letting you know, that's a huge disclaimer. So chile rellenos were usually back in the day, says my grandma, in the pueblo, like in the towns in Mexico. They were used kind of like for weddings. They was kind of a specialty. So in weddings, they would make mole and they would make chile rellenos, and that was kind of like their wedding gourmet food. And so my grandma said that basically the recipes she has and she knows how to cook are from the foods that were readily accessible to her in her town because they didn't have much to eat. So apparently poblano peppers were accessible to her. And so when it comes down to chile rellenos for us, she does it like for my birthday, of course. So this was because of my wedding. I asked her, we didn't have a reception this year, hopefully next year. Because of COVID, we didn't go through with the reception. We just had the wedding mass, and we got married through the mass, or through the church. And so I of course, I used this up, and I said, Grandma, I want your chile rellenos. And she's like, of course. And then I went a little step further and asked her, can we record you, please? And so she let me. So here is something that made me crack up. She told me that the chile relleno that is last is always the thickest, biggest, más gordo, which is fat one, and juicy one, because it takes all of the batter. So she winked at me and said, basically, that's for me, just to get a little heads up and don't tell nobody else. So anyone listening to this and is about to cook, stay behind and wait till your mom or whoever is cooking for the very last one. Try to get the very last one because it's going to be the thickest one. So again, my grandma allowed me to videotape her. I told her that instead of writing down the recipe, this is going to be a vlog so that I could watch it forever and ever, and I could be able to, kind of rewatch it when I'm doing it in the kitchen with Ruben and try to go at this recipe myself. So these came out divine, of course. Yum, 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 yum. And so my grandma always makes chile rellenos with fideo. So this is the fideo part, which is, fideo is like a very thin cut up pasta. So my dad says that just to get that flavor in your oil and in your food, he always fries, I think this is 1/4 cut up onion and 1 clove of garlic. He always fries them up in oil, and then for this part in particular, he just wants the flavor of the onion and the flavor of the garlic to stay within the oil. He's going to take all of this stuff out of there and he's going to put it in the blender. You also want to be boiling some water, so at the very end, once you mix everything up in the pasta, you boil the pasta with the tomato sauce and everything he's about to make. putting the onion and the garlic that he just fried in the blender. And he's putting 1 can of tomato sauce, I believe. If that's not paste, I think that's sauce. And what my grandma's doing is, this is the fideo. This is the little pasta she uses. And she is going to fry this in the oil that's already been seasoned by frying the onion and the garlic. So she told me, fry, mija, fry this until all the flavor is absorbed into this pasta of the oil. And she did not let my dad put that blended tomato sauce. And so my grandma also said to add more onion while you're frying the pasta so that there'll be like even more flavor. So here's my dad blending the tomato sauce. So I would say this is kind of like the marinara of the pasta to make the fideo. So my grandma continued to fry, and then my dad was going to be able to put it, after it's nice and toasty, he was going to go ahead and put the tomato sauce that he just blended. On top of the fideo, you make sure that it is completely covered, well mixed, that it absorbs all of the tomato sauce. Because your dad or your parents also do this. They want every single ounce of whatever salsa they made, and they put some more filtered water in there to kind of make sure to just take all of the little chunks and pieces that you blended. I always saw that my dad did that, and he always consistently does that because he throws down with salsas, hot sauce. He knows how to make some delicious savory salsas. Him and my husband throw down and try to like compete against each other in a nice way. Like, hey, I made this one, you try it. Or, hey, I made this one, you try it. And so it makes me kind of crack up, and it's kind of endearing to see that. So my dad said, here's a little trick that he adds for flavor. He adds a little bit of, I think this is chicken, not sure what brand this is. It's just chicken flavoring, like for soups and all. So I will put the ingredients in the description below of this video so you guys can get more information. And then my grandma puts about, I think there's going to be about a cup of boiling water to the already mixed well pasta. And they just basically let it boil until the consistency that you want. I like this fideo kind of dry, like a dry pasta. But if you want it a little bit, I guess watery or however consistency you want, you go ahead and let that boil. So here is the grand finale. My grandma, my dad put the chile rellenos on top of the fideo. And then they cover it. So once they're done, this is how it's served. It's just all the flavors together. It's making my mouth actually water right now. I just love this dish so much. But again, this is just a once, you want some comfort food one day, do not make this a habit. It is a fried food, guys. I have to put a disclaimer out there. But after the wedding, I really wanted my grandma's chile rellenos. And so I got it. And it commences the start of fall. And look at my big boy. Look at this big boy right here. So this is Hammy boy. His name is Ham. He is our family doggy. He's an Old English bulldog, and he milks it for all he can get. Look at those eyes. He milks it so badly. He is so pampered, so spoiled. We love him. Look at how cute this little underbite is. Look at those big old eyes. I love this dog so much. He gets away with everything, guys. Don't let that face fool you. He just came to see what he's gonna get because he smells those chile rellenos. He's well loved. I love you, Hammy. He's such a beautiful baby. So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. I am so glad that you guys are supporting my channel and that I'm here and I'm able to share this with you. And I am so happy I got to get my grandma's chile relleno recipe, and I am with all my heart showing it you guys. Drop me a message if you guys want to know more information about this recipe. Thank you so much for your support. Love you guys.